Live and direct, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of Leadership Live every week here on the Los Angeles Tribune, where we bring together a group of thought leaders from around the world to discuss a powerful distinction to help people lead their lives and lead their businesses. And this week, I'm excited. I have the lovely Adora Crystal Evans, one of the official strategic partners of the Los Angeles Tribune, with me as my co-host. Dr. Natalie Forrest is busy on vacation. Adora Evans, I'm so excited for today's program because we're going to bring in this powerful group of folks that are going to talk about what is their top quality for success. And so how excited are you, Adora, for today's program and for today's conversation?
I am so excited. One, I always love doing things that you're hosting or being a part of them. You're an amazing energy, an authentic energy, a dynamic energy. And the people that you attract are so similar. They're like soul tribes. So I also know that one of the greatest success secrets is hanging out with people that are leading and figuring out what goes on in their mind. Like, what are they thinking? What do they think makes them successful? So we're about to do that live and direct. It's awesome.
We
so
absolutely
excited.
are. I'm excited too, Adora. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Let's start bringing some of these powerhouses in right now to start talking. I see, of course, Jill. Jill is with us. We have Michelle. We have a couple regulars, but we also have some new faces.
Spirit fingers.
So we're going to get into it right now. And I'm going to start off by giving the ball to Coach Les. Coach, up here, my friend, put the phone down because we need you to get the ball rolling.
You said Facebook. You said go to Facebook, so I was following.
It's all good, Coach. It's all good. So, Coach, when it comes to your top quality, the number one most important quality that you have in your life to be successful in your business, in your life in general, for you personally, Coach Les, what does it mean? What is the main thing that you think about when it comes to success? The floor is yours, Coach Les.
Very simple, Mo, and welcome everybody. Good to see everybody. Some of you I know, some of you I don't. Those of you that I know, great to see you. Those of you that I don't, I'm looking forward to getting to know you. For me, the number one thing is very easy. It's integrity. As you can see, I'm an integrity coach, and that's the piece that really calls and speaks to me when I look at how people live their life, when I look at how businesses manage everything that they do, from P&L, ROI, all the way through to customer service, sales, every single thing that they do, how do they level up with integrity? And what does it look like? And I can tell you this, I'm not interested in the blame, shame game. I'm not interested in the right or wrong game. I'm not interested in any of that. What I'm interested in is very simple. It's like a bike wheel with spokes. And everything we do in our businesses, everything we do in our life is like a spoke on the wheel. Does it work or not? If it's not working, what's missing that would make it work? And how do we go about putting it back together so that it makes the wheel run smoothly? Because life is filled with potholes. As we know, breakdowns happen every single moment of every single day. And without breakdowns, we wouldn't have breakthroughs. So for me, taking a look at the integrity of that wheel, getting to know those spokes, having people start to get rid of the emotional impact when something breaks down really is so imperative, because that emotion clouds us. It clouds our judgment, it clouds our thinking, it clouds our well-being, all of it. So if we can look at an issue or a problem or a breakdown from the workability, and we look at it from integrity and where's it at, it's very simple to then look and say, okay, this is what we've got to do to restore the integrity. And with that, Mo, I'm going to turn it back to you. Hopefully that gives you a little snippet of what integrity is the way I see it. Honoring our word, not necessarily keeping it. And it's back to you.
Thank you for that, Coach Les. And I'm excited because there's so many people here that have so much value that they're going to provide for this audience. And these programs stay online for years, and people will watch the playback for years from now. So let's really give the folks watching what they need to transform their lives and transform their business. I'm going to go to Jill Lublin, who, of course, many people know as the queen of public relations. She's had multiple best-selling books. She's a good friend of mine, and I have a lot of respect for Jill. And I'm going to give her the floor because I want to hear from you, Jill. What has been your number one secret to success, your number one top quality for being successful both in life and in business? And I also want to welcome Coach Lilly, who just is joining us from Canada. But let's go ahead and give the floor to Jill. Jill, what is your top secret to success? The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mo. First of all, I am so glad to be here, and much love back to you. Because here's the thing about success. You know, Abraham Lincoln said it best, and his quote hangs on my wall that I look at every day, and it says, "Whatever you are, be a good one." So, you know, what I've discovered in life is that kindness is what rocks. In fact, I even have a rock. Look at this. Kindness rocks. And I actually wrote a book on it called The Profit of Kindness, because here's the deal. What I've seen is that when you approach life kindly, you approach it to give, to create relationship like we have, to create ongoing opportunities for people like you do, right? And like I do by getting them publicity. The power of being kind is what will multiply and magnetize and actually monetize you. So I think kindness is a huge, huge piece. And in that, I'll add attitude, positivity, particularly. Listen, let's face it, we all deal with things every day, right? Good, bad, ugly, pretty, things are coming our way. So one big thing I have is optimism and positivity, and I think it makes a big difference to success. And that's not being Pollyanna. It's called, what can I do to make this better? Or how can I, do the old make lemons out of lemonade thing. So that makes a huge difference. Kindness is at the forefront, though.
Thank you for that, Jill. I love that holistic approach, and I appreciate the fact you reminded our audience it's not about being Pollyanna. Right? Kindness is not being foolish. And it's important for people to know that distinction and that difference. So I appreciate you bringing that to the forefront. Let's go to Michelle McClain, who's a regular here on this program and has contributed to so many people for so long. Michelle McClain, what's been your top secret for success? The floor is yours.
Well, so I love what everyone has said so far, especially about being kind. That's something I've practiced in my business over the last decade. I like to say being kind and direct, because I also believe like in landing our message, we can be caught up in our own emotions or whatever we're feeling, and then we don't land our message because we're not being kind, and we never know what someone's going through, right? So I love what Jill had to say about that, about being kind. And I'd like to add being kind and direct about our communication of what we want and what our needs are. And then I would say for me, what's been transformative is responsibility, coming from taking responsibility that if it's going to happen, then I get to create that. I get to make that happen. Like whenever I was getting evicted, say 10 years ago, whenever I was creating my business, I was on the verge of being evicted, and I couldn't just look around and cry and look for who's going to save me. It was like, all right, you're going to save you, boo-boo. Like, let's go, let's get it together. And I got to take responsibility for my life and really transform it. So now I see that in every area of like, okay, well, so what things in life get to happen, and then how am I going to be the one to contribute? How am I going to be the one to make it happen? How am I going to be the one to create what I'm wanting in my life? Not looking around of like, who's going to save me? Because I really feel like it can be easy to have that of look around for like, who's going to save me, right? And then it's like, no one's coming to save us. No one's coming. If it's going to happen in our lives, if it's up to me, it's up to me kind of attitude. So I've seen that be a very transformative pillar of leadership. I like to say that I live by. So.
If it's up to me, if it is to be, it's up to me. I love that quote. I want to go to Chris Hawk. Chris, I know Chris does a lot of incredible things in the world of business around the world. And Chris, I'm curious, for you, what has been your top secret for success? The floor is yours.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's been probably 20 years of being in business for myself, and I came from working for the government and Homeland Security prior, and a professional athlete before that. And it's amazing how you see these things change. But when you get into business for yourself, nobody really teaches you as entrepreneurs, as business owners. Nobody really teaches you how to manage the extremes. To be successful, you have to be at that extreme, to be the best, to do what it takes. But unfortunately, the thing of balance is a very difficult concept. In theory, it sounds great, and that's what we strive for, but it's really an impossible task, because you go so far out of balance to create greatness for yourself. You go out of balance to be a great father, to be a great husband, a great friend, to be healthy. And so it's this game of counterbalance. And so I always like to say is to be better between those extremes. If we live at the extremes and you're at that extreme, you have to learn to be better between those extremes, and to kind of look at yourself as winning in the aggregate rather than just winning in one thing at a time. Because if you're winning and you're so extreme over here, you're going to be letting something go over here as a father, as a husband, or whatever it is, that your health perhaps. And you see so many entrepreneurs struggle with this. I struggled with this. I want to be successful. I want to create the best company and a brand and all these things. But at the same time, your health is going downhill. You're not paying attention to your kids. You're not paying attention to the important things. We can all build another business, right? We have the skills. If you have the skills, you have the skills and the talent. You can't build another family, right? You can't. It's very difficult. So I think the best thing that I could give anyone as far as suggestion is to be better between those extremes, and to win in the aggregate in the small things, because the small things are the big things. And that is it's words I live by for sure.
That was super powerful. Mo, you are muted. I love that you can't build another family. And Mo, maybe that was on purpose, because I want to encourage our audience, if you are finding this to be valuable, if you know anyone looking to grow in leadership, or you want to be able to come back to this, share this on your page. We are going to be choosing a few VIP members that get to come free to spend some time with Dennis Waitley alone after our event in November. And so one way to be entered in that is to share this on your page. And if you want to take it another level, tag a leader in that. Tag someone that you know is about leadership and leads from the front. I love what you ladies have already shared, and also what you just shared about you can't build another family. So get better at living between the extremes. That's really good.
Absolutely, Adora. Thank you so much for that. And of course, Adora is talking about the big event in November, which many folks in this community already know about. So yes, absolutely. Get the message out. Let's go now to Coach Lilly, who always has something powerful to contribute to this community. Coach Lilly, what has been your top tool, secret, strategy for success in your life and in your business? The floor is yours.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks, Mo, for having me. And so good to see all of you here today again. My name is Lilly Wang. I'm based out of Canada. And to answer your question, what has been one of my biggest things, top secrets of success all these years, I think, is genuine authenticity. Okay? Genuine authenticity is so important because there's a quantum physics reason to that. You see, when we're extremely truthful about our values, about who we want to be, what we stand for, how we want to run our business, it shows. It really, really shows. It shows in how we treat our staff. It shows in how we attend a networking event. It shows in how we do anything, speak anything. Why do you think certain people get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity as if they're just lucky? It's not luck. It's because their energy is extremely streamlined. When you're very authentic and genuine and truthful about who you are, what you stand for, and what your values are, like I said, it shows. And what that means energetically is a streamlining of energy. And what that means in terms of manifestation is a streamlining of manifestation. So many people have so many goals, right? Am I right? Put your hand up if you know that most people have hopes and dreams. Yes or yes? That's right. Everybody has hopes and dreams. It's the human condition. But most people go through far too much messiness, right? What do I mean by messiness? Energetic messiness is before the average person is done saying one sentence about their goal, they've already introduced doubt, But oh, what if my mom doesn't believe in it? They've already introduced the opinions or the perceived opinions of other people. What if my wife doesn't believe in me? What if my husband doesn't believe in me? In my line of work, I see that all the time. Now, that's not to say that that's bad. That's human. However, again, it's not about good or bad. It's about what's most effective. And successful people are effective. So let's bring this home. To be more effective, I found it to be extremely important to be genuine and authentic about who you are and what's important to you. That means don't follow fads. For example, 10, 15 years ago, I got into international consulting, and I was working for different governments, the Cambodian government, Nepal, the United Nations, the World Health Organization, all these things. I started pretty young. You see, none of that would have been accomplished had I taken someone else's goal or someone else's hopes and dreams, because that would have been not genuine. That would have been inauthentic. The reason it worked for me is because it was highly genuine and authentic to who I wanted to be. I wanted to help people. To what was important to me, I wanted to work around the world. And what was authentic to me, I wanted to be out there figuring out solutions for societies, communities, of people all around the world. So the point I'm getting at is one of the biggest tips for success is that it's absolutely necessary, mandatory, I would say, that you focus on that which you genuinely and authentically believe. Because what that'll do is it'll reduce all the clutter, mental clutter. It'll streamline your energy. And I don't have the time right now to say it, but suffice it to say, this is the truth. When it comes to manifestation, you will get your goals, hit your targets, and achieve so much in a shorter time compared to just about anybody else. So to summarize, one of the biggest tips for success that I use, I apply, and I teach is you got to be very, very authentic to what's important to you. And then from there, go for it.
I appreciate that, Lily. Authenticity. We live in a world where a lot of people are carbon copy clones of one another. I think about 75% of humanity is basically like two people, right? And so I appreciate you sharing that message of being you, expressing who you truly are. We're here one time, folks, as far as I know, right? And even if you believe in reincarnation, well, you come in a different form if that's your belief system. So this form is here once. Make the most of it. I want to go to a person that's very special to me. Of course, he's author of Life on Your Terms, one of the best personal development books, in my opinion, that's been published in the last few years. Rex Sykes, he, of course, has a program here on the Los Angeles Tribune TV network. And I consider him one of my mentors when it comes to psychology, spirituality, etc. Here's a photo of him from a couple years ago, but we're going to get a newer version of him right now. Rex Steven Sykes, what has been your secret for success? I know you've generated multiple millions of dollars with your seminar business and your training programs that you've had over decades. You're super humble. You don't even wear a blazer when you come on a program. That's how humble you are. So tell us, what has been your top secret for success? Rex Sykes.
Wow, thank you for that. And it's great to be surrounded by such incredible colleagues and friends, and I appreciate it. Recognizing my purpose, I guess I would say. I mean, I could build on everything that everybody said because it's all true, but recognizing my purpose. And what is my purpose? That I am a gift to the planet. And this vehicle, this temporary rental vehicle that I have is gifted by the consciousness of the universe. So there's this two-way street between everything that is and me. You know, I am source. I am one with all, and all is one with me. So what has that allowed me to do? It's allowed me to align my thinking and my heart and be congruent as best as a human vessel could be congruent. And then that shapes or informs my behaviors, and that determines the results that I get. So what has it all done overall? It's helped me develop an unstoppable, optimistic, positive attitude, which is the number one predictor for success in all things anyway. It's the number one predictor for success in health and healing and well-being and longevity. So if you want to live longer and live happier and healthier and wealthier and more successful, it's attitude. And because of that alignment, because I understand I'm here one time, I am source, I am connected with everything. Whatever happens, happens. So it means that I am able to drop into the present moment. This all sounds, very maybe metaphysical or quantum physical, which it is, but it allows me to drop into the present, and then whatever is, and I can find gratitude in that. I can feel blessed. So there are going to be problems and challenges. I don't like to describe them as that. I think of them as opportunities, but people describe hardships or circumstances or events or others. What happens for me is it allows me to understand that they're all here for my good. They're all here for me to be blessed and for me to bless them, and that it's an exchange of positive energy. That problems only exist in the mind, and if I transcend my mind, I don't have any problems. So to live with gratitude. It sounds strange, but that my purpose is to be here as I am at any given second of any given day. And that vehicle transforms and changes. I live the life of my dreams today. It wasn't always that way, but that process has all become this unfolding of all the incredible stuff that the universe, that consciousness, that life, that love, that God, that whatever you want to call it, has for us. And with that, I am one. And so I it's all good. It's all really good, even when it doesn't appear to be.
Rex, you said that sounds strange. And if that is a strange way to be, I don't want to be normal. I appreciate that so much. Let's go to Kim Lee, who truly is a master when it comes to all things spirituality, when it comes to all things metaphysical. She's had some of the top teachers in the world of spirituality and to some of the top thought leaders as her mentors. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, visit her website. Read about some of the folks that she's worked with. She's worked with people that have touched hundreds of millions of lives and souls. And so I'm excited to have her here. And then we're going to go last but not least. I saved the best for last with Dwayne. We're going to get some words from him as well. But first, let's go to Kim Lee. Kim, what has been your top secret for success? Please, the floor is yours. Folks, listen when Kim speaks. Pay attention because she's a powerhouse, but she's very soft-spoken. So you got to listen and write those notes. Kim Lee, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mo. I'm so happy and honored to be here with all of you powerful influencers. As a master heart healer, my value is very simple. Everybody said the value that I have: honesty, integrity, love, alignment, generosity. Those are the qualities that I have. I agree with you 1000%. Today, I would use the word love, respect, that, and also the power of innocence, because from a place of innocence that I can surrender myself to the universe, to source, and allow God to lead me, to grace me in the present moment, in that alignment, to really genuinely care for my students, my clients, who are in front of them, and to really have that compassionate listening to know where they are, what issue that they're dealing with, and how I can support them. So it's always come back to a place of alignment, of unity, heart-mind unity, from that place of oneness that we show up with love, compassion for ourselves, and love and compassion for our fellow human being, because we all are one. I'm using the word, we are the missing puzzle for each other, because we all have special gifts. We need to come together in love, compassion, unity, to really genuinely care for one another. So the thing that I share is, when it comes to my own success, is the love, compassion, and genuinely care for my fellow human being and care for my clients, my students. And the thing I think that people might not value, the importance of the power of innocence, the power of joy. It's just like if we step into, as a business owner, as a parent, as a leader, sometimes we get doing too much of it. We forget to play. We forget to return to oneness within, and to tap into that place of carefree and be out there and be goofy and having fun, to share our love, our joy with one another. So that's that's something I want to emphasize in terms of the power of innocence, the power of laughter, the power of carefree. And from that place, we can invite each other to relax and enjoy each other present for the moment that we have, because life never promised us tomorrow. All we have is today. How can we be the best version of ourselves? So that's what I have to share for today. Thank you very much, Mo, and thank you everyone here. I love and appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim. Kim Lee is the real deal. So check her out. And as you guys just heard, when she speaks, I feel like, the universe is speaking through her. So Dwayne, let's go to you, sir. The floor is yours. What has been your top secret, your top tool, your top strategy for success in your life, in your business that you can share with our audience? Dwayne, the floor is yours. And Dwayne, we cannot hear you, sir. Sounds like you're not muted, but we cannot hear you. So please check your microphone and check the technical side of things on your end, and we will come back to you. But for now, I'm going to go back to Jill and hear her thoughts on this conversation so far while Dwayne figures out what's going on in his neck of the woods. Then when Jill is done speaking, and Jill, just gives your general thoughts thus far, Adora is going to take the lead for the second half of the program and keep the conversation flowing. But before we do that, Jill, please, what are your general thoughts so far?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly touched by all of you, the great leaders here, because I think we're reminded of so many aspects of life, which truthfully, business is life, life is business. I think it is important to be congruent in all of it. And I think we're also reminded about the opportunity to be leaders in different ways with different aspects of these beautiful qualities coming through, including play. So important to be reminded to have fun in our business. And, I always like to say I love what I do and I do what I love. And I think that's phenomenal that this is demonstrated through everybody here.
You're absolutely right, Jill, and I appreciate you saying that. And Adora, I'm going to give you the floor now to take the mantle and lead the way for the second half of the program. We're going to take a quick 30-second break, and when we come back, Adora is going to lead the second half of the program and lead the conversation, because I know that she has a lot of things that she wants to contribute to this as well. So we're going to take a quick 30-second break. When we come back, Adora Evans is going to lead the way. We'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Hello and welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune. Since 1886, our name has been a part of the world of journalism. We have earned a reputation for being a publication that practices integrity, authenticity, and responsibility. For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
And welcome back, everybody. And so, Adora, I want to give you the floor to hear from you. What has been your general thoughts thus far? And also share your secret and then lead the way from here. Miss Adora Evans, the floor is yours. Here's the mantle.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I'm hearing such a dynamic message. I hear this balance of polarities so far, which is like, hey, we want to be in our business. We want to be direct. We want to be in the extremes. We want to make the most of this life. But I'm also hearing, but we want to do it in a certain way, in our heart, in authenticity, in congruence, and that actually those connections to meaning, connection to having a great family, having play, having innocence, really seem to be driving the success of all the leaders that we have here. So I love that so much. And for me, it's really hard to say what is my top secret, because I think the secret moves depending on the season. Like talking about those extremes, if I'm really an extreme with doing and creating and producing, the new secret may be going into a quiet cave and spending hours and hours of meditation, or family time or playtime, and really tapping into my inner wisdom. And if I've been in that cave for a really long time, the secret may be now put some feet to those inspirations. Bring it. It's now time to take action. And sometimes the message is balance. So I think it's really something that's very, very relative. For me, one core secret that is always the same, though, is staying in my heart and in congruence, which has been a theme here. Am I congruent with my highest truth, my highest, what I believe Spirit, God, divinity has called me to be, with no shame, wild and untamed? Am I congruent and aligned? And so thank you for that. Rex, it's so good to see you. And before we move on, I thought we saw our gentleman come back. Dwayne, there he is. Dwayne, do you have volume now?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yes, awesome. Okay, so your secret to success, which, by the way, the backgrounds here, you guys, like, look at all this. We have simplistic, beautiful, clean. We have color. We have all kinds of gorgeous background here. I love it. Okay, Dwayne, your secret.
Yes, I apologize. I have multiple screens. I'm a trader in the market, so I've got all these screens, and I guess I got all these different microphones. And I usually use Zoom. I don't use StreamYard, so I apologize that I didn't have sound. So my secret to success is very simply execution. I cannot stress it enough. Execution, execution, execution. There's times you want to give up, but you need to know that you got to keep going. You've got to execute. So many businesses fail because the people behind them just don't have the drive. They don't have the execution. And part of having execution is you've also got to surround yourself with people who know how to execute. And you've got to realize that what works for somebody else may not work for you. What works for you may not work for somebody else. Everybody has their own way of doing things. I kind of laugh because I tell people, I'm a scrambler. I'm old school. My phone rings, I pick it up. A lot of people send it over to text and say, when can I talk to you next? I'm scrambling, I'm texting, I'm doing stuff. I'm very focused. I have to complete a task. And once I get it done, I can move on to the next. I know Chris, what cracks me up is he's like, his studio is like a crime scene if you've ever seen it. He does mind boards, right? It looks like a crime scene on all his mind boards. He's like, okay, here's the plan. This goes here. This goes here. It looks like maybe a coach that puts up his offensive game plan. But, Chris is an executor. I have another partner of mine that is a great multitasker. So different things work for different people. But the most important thing is to execute. And in order to execute, you have to be relentless. And what I mean by relentless, you have to want to succeed as much as you want to breathe. And you have to realize that pain is going to come along. Obstacles are going to come along. Heartache is going to come along. And you've got to be strong enough to know that you are going to overcome it. It doesn't matter what you do to overcome it, but you got to know that, hey, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to solve this problem, I'm going to overcome this obstacle because I'm going to execute to be successful, and I'm going to finish my task.
Awesome. Dwayne, thank you so much. So you're going to overcome those obstacles with joy, congruence, ease, positivity, and grit. There's a nice balance here I'm hearing. I just had to playfully put that in there. What I'd love to take this to next is success. When we think about it, for many people is also, it's very relative, right? But there's usually some blend of significance and financial success, health success. We all have a different vision of that. And we all have a different vision of what, a really juicy, abundant, prosperous life looks like. And it's usually not just working your head off, right? Like for some people, it includes, lush trips to Paris with a lover, and some it's a family vacation. Some people it's a writing workshop, but we all have a version, and it's usually not all about working your head off. So I'd love to hear how each of you create that balance, because I mean, there have been times in my life where I've been so playful, I didn't get any work done, and I needed to hear Dwayne talking to me, right? Or Tony Robbins. And there have been times when I've worked so hard that I've squeezed all the joy and innocence out of life, right? And so where is that balance for you all? And Chris, I'm going to go ahead and start with you, because you talked about living between the extremes.
Yeah. So, I mean, happiness, it's relative, right? I mean, if you're looking for that, I know for me personally, when I go on vacation, I go crazy. I cannot, my brain is just going. I can't wait to get home in some cases, right? And it's because of passion. It's because I love what I do so much. Every day is a vacation to me. And hard work it shouldn't be something that inhibits my life. It should just be part of my life. And I accept that. It shouldn't take over my life either, but it should be part of me. If that's how I'm built, if my DNA says you are a hard worker, you love what you do, you're doing what you love, there's nothing else you wouldn't do but this. And so for me, I think because of that relativity, if you look at what are your passions, I love building things that people like to use. If I can build a product, a software, or invent something and see the reaction of people and bring people together and create this almost like this new ideal to strive towards, that fills me up. That is where I find my balance, is being creative. Now, I could be creative as an artist. If I could draw, I can't draw with anything. Okay. Or a musician, I can't play music, but I can play this. And it's awareness that allows us to do that. Because sometimes we always hear like, oh, you work too much. Like I absolutely hate that term, because I don't feel like I do. I love what I do. I work because I enjoy it. Whereas maybe they want to go on vacation, they want to go to the bar, they want to go do whatever that they do, their hobbies. At the same time, creation and creativity and just, I'm lucky, I'm blessed, because it is part of my business. So I get the best of all those worlds, and it's my awareness of that. And believe me, it wasn't always like that. I always kind of listened to other people, or I looked at other people's lives and said, maybe I should be like them. Maybe I should be done by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe I shouldn't be working like I do. But then you become this aware person where you're saying, you know what, that's just who I am. And I'm okay with that. Right. And just finding a way to fit that into other people's lives. I would say that's the hardest part is, you can't expect your spouse to be how you are and to feel that way. And some people, especially entrepreneurs, get frustrated because they don't have the same values or necessarily the same beliefs and passions that you do. So you have to fit that into your life too. So, it's all about happiness, but I would say it's awareness completely across the board of really understanding yourself, saying, you know what, this fills me up. And that's how I escape maybe the hardness of life.
Awesome. So for you, your work is play for you, and it is the place you're eager to get back to. So bringing a vacation in may be something you do to nurture your family or to live between the extremes. Or so how do you create that between the extremes? And then
it's playing. I would say it's probably it's playing in the dirt with my kid.
Got it.
That is what gives me my life source. Right.
Awesome.
I love what I do, but at the same time, if I could have more time during the day, I'd be playing in the dirt more.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. Really good, Chris. So that's a big important point. Just like different dogs, when you look up their DNA, there are some meant for herding and hunting and working. So don't, let the group message of, hey, work less be, I share the message of get more into your feminine energy and receive. Like you really get to know who you are and what message is for you, and to squeeze into, like Chris is, you're aligned in the work that you are. And that's so awesome. Right. And then you make time playing with your son is part of that balance in the dirt. Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. Okay, let's go next to Jill. For you, this question of how you create balance.
Well, I started writing this list. I'm like, oh, what do I do to create balance? And it was wonderful, because what it helped me reflect on is that truly, actually, balance is a funny word. I mean, I think of states of concentration. When I did my publicity summit recently, it was a state of concentration, right? And I think there are just times where we work like that. But I will tell you that I am very committed to making sure that my self-care is in place and that I'm actually in my own schedule. Like, wow, what a concept, right? So I started actually putting myself into my schedule. That means my meditation and my exercise is definitely scheduled in. And then I thought about, well, what are the other things I just, love to do that brings me balance? And I'm a bit of a sunset chaser. Some people chase storms. I chase sunsets. So I love a good sunset, and I make sure that I get one at least once a week, to be out in nature at the ocean. And speaking of nature, I do a field trip once a week. I call them field trips, but it's really where I go out into nature or do something fun. I take kitty hug breaks during the day. I have 4 cats. Oh, three. I just lost one. I have 3 cats, and I just go and I hug them and I play with them, and good for the oxytocin, by the way. And then also I make sure that spirituality, something that feeds me, somebody that I can be with in my journey. So I make sure that's in my calendar. And really what the sort of bottom line is that I'm in my calendar with fun. And yeah, sometimes it's actually scheduled in. I go kayaking several times. It's scheduled. And I find that if I don't put myself in my schedule, then that could be a problem. And then when I'm get gifts of time, I'll go, oh, it looks pretty out. Well, I just think I'll go take a walk, or, whatever it is, right? And I think that as we allow for us in our schedules, but also allow for the flexibility of what life brings us, including the fact that sometimes I need to rearrange things because maybe it's a moment where I'll maybe need more self-care that I can't quite give myself as fully to my clients, then I'll just be truthful about that. And I think that's, for me, been the best way to live. But it's certainly helped me to take better care of myself.
That's awesome. I love it. Scheduling it in so that you ensure it happens, and leaving some space for flexibility. When you get the gift of time, you can do what you'd like with that, either go to work but it sounds like often it's a walk or something for yourself. Love it. Love it. Those were beautiful tips, Jill. Thank you so much. And Miss Michelle, I'm going to go to you next.
I love that. I actually have that written down, plan it. That was what I was going to talk about, is planning and scheduling. I find for myself, if I don't plan it, if it's not scheduled, it doesn't happen. And then I'm cleaning up my mess. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know I said I was going to call you and it wasn't in my schedule. Like, I just know that about myself. Like, if it's going to happen, it's going to be written down and planned out. From fun to a conversation, keeping relationships in my life, friendships, relationships I want to have, to business partnerships, literally just everything. I have my hour by hour written out every day. And this is just I have to do that. That's just for me, how I function. But it's also how I can function very powerfully, being intentional with every single time slot. And for me, what works is to put down the times of, like, if I have a call. So like today's call got written in there in that time frame. But things like the gym, things like different phone calls that don't have a time frame, I put them like to the side where they don't have a time next to them. So they can be flexible, and they allow what, we talked about, the flowiness, allowing, so like the masculine energy of the time, and this has to happen, and like kind of the rigidness, but then also allowing like the flowy of like, okay, I have an hour space here. Maybe I can go take a walk. Maybe I can take a meditation or a nap, or, allowing that feminine energy to flow in the schedule. I've really practiced that, the masculine and feminine energy, especially like as a female in the work, in a business, getting to practice both of those sides. And when am I going to pull which energy forward? Which way of being is going to support me right now to show up for the people I get to show up for? So being able to tap into that, the masculine and the feminine energy, and knowing that we have, access to both. So I would say that, planning everything. And then I want to add knowing when we can multitask, because like Dwayne was really pointing out earlier too about multitasking. Like, people say, oh, women can multitask. And I'm like, there's sometimes where I'm like, no, like, not for me. So I've been practicing lately of when is it good for me to multitask? Like, if I'm doing the dishes, I can be on the phone. I can catch up with a girlfriend, or I can catch up with my mom, when I'm doing the dishes. But there's a lot of things like on this call, right? I can't be like texting a business partner and then trying to be present with you guys. So really practicing and knowing when can I multitask? When does it serve me? When I'm driving, could I be listening to an audiobook? So filling in the gaps of time to where you can condense time and you get to live in what I call the both and it makes the planning easier and makes things happen. So.
Yes, back to those beautiful polarities. I love them. Coach Les, Michelle, thank you so much. That was powerful. All of you have been so powerful. Coach Les?
Yeah, I think the thing that I want to speak about is respect. And Ori Spado said it best when I was last on this show, and he jumped in and said he sees that as missing in our society. And I think it's a very powerful statement to say that respect today, the respect for people's time, the respect for people's attention, the respect for people's listening, how you interact with them, how you play with them, how you spend time with them. You know, Michelle brought up a good point, you know, to sit here. I mean, here I am, get busted on my phone, trying to get Facebook to pull up because I didn't want to be sitting here multi-screening. And I thought, oh, I'll just pull it up and do it here. And Mo calls me out on it. I'm like, wait a minute, how am I supposed to do this then? Because I didn't realize he was going to blank us and give us time to do that. And I look at it as another opportunity really for us to respect people that know things that we don't. And what does that look like? It looks like listening in such a way that people actively see and get the sense that they're being listened to. And another way of respect is respecting people's space. You know, we just are coming through this big COVID-19 thing. And there are some people that want that space. There are some people that want to wear masks. There are some people that don't. So how do we create that level of respect, and what does it look like? How do we respect people on social media? Do we treat people with texts? You know, one of the things, I have a rule, nothing contextual can go through text or email. Nothing.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Respect. That's a great, unique perspective to bring into this conversation. So thank you so much. And respect is huge right now and so needed. Respect for ourselves, looking at the big picture. What is the main outcome I want versus arguing issues and losing sight of the people, losing sight of the connection, losing sight of humanity. And respect restores quite a bit of that, respecting yourself, respecting the others. So that's really beautiful. All right. And Coach Lilly.
Yes, Adora, thanks so much. This is Coach Lilly speaking. I've loved hearing everybody's input so far. So how do we find balance? I want to add to what Jill was saying, as in, it's a funny word. So perhaps it's more so about how can we see it as moments of concentration or perhaps moments of consciousness. That's how I would say it. And I want to piggyback off of what Coach Les was saying about respect. I would say it's about honoring yourself. Okay. Here's the thing. How many of us, if you've ever been there, or you know friends or family or people in your circle who do this, are employed and have a boss or supervisor or a company, and they complain about the company, or they complain about the boss, or they complain about the manager, right? Wink once if you know someone who's done that. You see, people do that because they've made a habit, a pattern of dishonoring themselves. The truth is, we're also very powerful, and we could. Someone's mute is on. Someone's got a hot mic. We're all empowered, and we could be powerful. But by the time we've gotten into a habit or a pattern of complaining about our boss or somebody else, we've made a habit or pattern of dishonoring ourselves. Okay, I'm going to say that again. By the time we've made a habit or pattern of complaining about a boss, a customer, or somebody else in our lives, it's because we've made a habit of dishonoring ourselves. The truth is, if you don't like it, quit right now. I'm being blunt, quit right now. But you're not quitting. Why? Because you want the money. And so if you want the money and you're at a place of employment where you're unhappy, then learn to be happy. Bloom where you're planted. This is psychology, it's personal ownership, and it's quantum physics. Because this is what people do. Entrepreneurship is so popular now. The world is so different today than it was 15 years ago when I was in college. Back then, going to a good school counted for a lot. Now everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. But you see, a lot of people don't understand that their thoughts create their results every single day. And so when people have made a habit of dishonoring themselves, then they project that as a complaint about their boss or manager or employer. Now they go into self-employment, okay, and they're an entrepreneur or they have a side hustle. Well, where's that complaint going to seep into? It's going to seep into complaining about the customer, the client, your virtual assistant, and so on and so forth. So honoring ourselves is extremely important, because when we honor ourselves, we recognize, we remember how powerful, how empowered we were meant to be. And I want you to see that you are so, or you could be so empowered that you don't have find fault or seek fault or complaint with anybody else. Your state of life right now is based on you. So how does this relate to balance and work-life balance? Well, it's easy. Because the ones who make it in entrepreneurship, or even if you're in corporate and you're employed, the ones who make it have a lot of self-ownership. They have a tremendous amount of empowerment, and they don't go out there and seek to point fingers and say, my boss didn't believe in me, my dad didn't believe in me, my girlfriend, my sister, my etc. They don't talk like that. They understand that the ownership should be inward, as within, so without. So when it comes to work-life balance as well, if you want to work, work. This is what I'm getting at. If you want to play, play. Make it your business to know when you're doing what. But there are billions of people out there who think Friday afternoon, if they work an extra minute, they're being bullied by their employer. How bad life is. Whereas I say, hey, I take time off too. I work half days on Sundays because I have a couple clients who really want to see me on Sundays. To somebody who's used to complaining about their employer for making them stay around for an extra hour, I say, but would you be willing to do that half a day on a Sunday if it gave you a couple $1,000?
Yeah.
It's very clear. It's the ownership, right? So to land the plane a little bit, it's all about ownership. It's always been about ownership. And the problem with my generation and the generation that's younger and the generation that's older, so everybody over working age right now, is we've been conditioned to relinquish our ownership, whereas that keeps us low, at a low vibration. It keeps us safe and it keeps us stuck. So if you want work-life balance, just remember what's important to you. If work and success right now, right? One of the ladies earlier was saying she had an event a week ago. That was busy. That was a time of concentration right now. If that's important to you right now, work. If it's important to you to have Saturdays off, take it off. But always, always remember that the power is within you and not a single other person in your life.
Very good. Thank you, Lily. Okay, so wonderful. Rex, let's hear from you.
Wow, cool. I get to do this. I'm here. This is my time around. I get to do this. I get to have problems. You know, I've been with money and without money. I've been with friends and without friends. I've been in relationships and out of relationships. I've had horrible hardship and devastation, and I've had bliss and many incredible things. It's all good. You know, what's the alternative? Being under the ground or not getting here in the first place. So if I have a problem, I got a problem. Who cares? You know, that's part of the journey. People don't realize that an adventure includes ups and downs. We go to roller coasters to scare the crap out of us because it has highs and lows. And yet people go, I want no problems. You know, the gift of solving a problem is to have another problem. So this is the stuff, you know, whenever I get down and out, if that, which doesn't happen that often, but when I encounter something that seems insurmountable, I remember this is my opportunity. This is for me. And that's why the attitude is so important, and gratitude is so important. I get to do it. I get to be with my dogs. I get to be with my kids. I get to do the business. I get to do what I love. There are things that I don't like that I get to do. Guess what? It's all good. It's all incredible. And like I said, the alternative is to not be alive or to be, unable to do any of this stuff. Where I learned more was from people like Viktor Frankl or, Gandhi, or people who go, you can beat me, you can torture me, but you can't take away my imagination. You can't take away my spirit or my heart. I have refused to allow the less than glorious to rule who I am. I am a champion. I am a victor. I may not always look like it. I may not always talk like it. I may not always act like it, but I am here as you are here. And whether we come around, as Mo said, maybe we reincarnate, maybe we don't, I am here. And you know what? This here right now is gorgeous. It's beautiful with all the imperfections. I mean, what else can you say? As the universe expands, there's entropy and chaos. It's all good. It's all absolutely good. So I am blessed, and because I am blessed, I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled, and I feel sorry for people who are bored. I feel sorry for people who, the 97% of the people who do the same thing every day and don't realize how fortunate they are to do the same thing every day, even if it's not as cool as they would hope it would be.
That's so awesome, Rex. And I feel blessed to know you. We've been friends for some time now. And I like to say it's what you said about the highs and lows, challenge and work, and the things we've been talking about, the seasons of concentrated effort and creativity. It's like I pay for the gym and the personal trainer, and I embrace this work that shapes my body. And yet we show up to life and go, and I even know my esthetician puts my face through some work so that my face will create new collagen and anti-aging properties. And then we look at life and go, no, it's all supposed to be just easy and fun and joyful, which I think perspective is everything. But I love when I'm sore. Like, I'm actually happy about it, right? So I hear a lot of that in your voice, like, hey, I'm here. I get to be here. I get to experience these challenges and this adventure. And that's such a great perspective. Thank you for sharing that. Kim Lee, I know we've got to listen to this healing vibration that shows up on our show today as the Kim Lee Master Heart Healer. What do you have to say? Oh, you're muted.
Thank you, Dora. I love everybody share. We're sharing in terms of self-care and how we serve. There are two different perspectives. For me, I go to the depth of one's soul. It go in terms of the inner reality and physical reality. That's where I go. So normally I check the word I use here at my energy currency. In terms of how much energy do I have this day as I serve, and make time to make sure that I are well cared for. Do I have love to give to the individual, to serve my clients and my students? It always comes back to the power of choices. That I choose love, I choose respect, I choose generosity. So as I serve, when I book the appointment and service, I always have a window of time where I go step outside of my backyard, or I go to the beach because I live here in San Francisco, Ocean Beach, so walk outside the door. So I always check in terms of my internal radar, how much energy do I have and what are my needs, so I can step outside, take care of the yard, play in the dirt, or do hula hoop. Something that I do, for the fun of it, to heart mind realign. Then
we're gonna send Chris a hula hoop and see how that goes. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
That would be so
I saw
fun.
the nod. It would be fun. Your son might like it.
Yeah. And then from that place, I come back, I serve, I step out and play just a little bit to breathe, to be in nature. I come back and serve. And then in service, also come back to the power of choice. Always, I choose love. See, people confuse. People didn't understand love in the right way. They confuse love by worry for somebody that they love. the energy of worry is different, the energy of fear, than true love for someone. So I make sure I serve with love and not confuse that worry in my service. So it come back down to find balance. I need to know my internal radar. What do I need? And honor that need. And then from that place of fullness, I share from the cup of overflow of love, of abundance. So that's how I check the deep aspect of my energy currency. How much do I have? How much can I share? And sometimes to say the word no, it's not like rejection. No is to set the boundary. Right now, I don't have the energy to really be present with you. Let me go take care of myself before I come back to serve you again. So there's so much more to it, to find balance within me, within each other. So I'm so grateful to be here with all of you. Thank you, Adora. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Mo, you're back. And Dwayne, did we get to hear from you about balance? I know we brought you in kind of early.
No, but I can keep mine pretty short because I know I need to keep it pretty short. Guys, I'll be honest with you. My wife is probably out there watching, just waiting to hear my answer, right? Because part of being human is knowing your faults, and this is something that I struggle with. Being an executor, I struggle with it. Why? Because I'm so focused on a task that I have to complete it before I get to, enjoy those moments, whether that might be staying up a sleepless night or staying here at the office, crashing on the couch for a few hours and getting it done. I'll be honest with you. I struggle with that, but I will say this. When I get the chance to enjoy those moments, I don't blow those moments. Like I'm one of those people that I can't wait to go on vacation. But, I see so many people when they're on vacation, they're out there taking selfies and pictures and everything. I don't take pictures and stuff when I'm on vacation because I'm too busy enjoying the moment, to just enjoying that moment and embracing the moment. And, I have two kids. I have a 5-year-old little girl and a 7-year-old little boy. And I got to enjoy one of those moments last night. I was tucking them in, and I know they were so happy because I hadn't seen them for a few days. But I made sure to make the most of those moments that I get because I don't get a lot of those moments, being that I'm so focused, and that's pretty much that's basically it from me.
Awesome, Dwayne. Yeah, I think Michael Jordan was probably a bit of a workaholic with the basketball. Anyone who does something extreme, but it's then how do you really drink in every drop when you're choosing to feed the other areas of your life? And it sounds like being fully present and scheduling those moments in are the core things that I'm hearing from everyone here. And respect, authenticity, ownership. Those are the core things that came up, and seeing that you get to do all of this is pretty much the core message that we've got from the group of leaders here. Mo, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Adora. And you're absolutely right. This has thus far been a very powerful program. We're going to do a quick hyper round where we're wrapping up this week's program. So every single speaker will have a chance to contribute and say their final thoughts, 30 seconds or less, please. Before we do our final round, Adora, let's talk a little bit about this exciting event, of course, that's happening next month with Bob Proctor and Dennis Waitley and Les Brown, Joe Vitale, John Asraf, and many other exciting speakers that we have not yet announced. And I know that some of the speakers out there have an opportunity to get on this event if they contact you, Adora. So I think there might only be a couple opportunities left for that. So if you are a speaker, you can apply by contacting Adora Evans. So I would look her up right now on Facebook before the show ends, because I know a lot of people are going to bombard her with regard to that. And Adora, let's talk a little bit about this event. Folks can sign up at wintour21.com. and just talk about how excited you are for this event, Adora, real briefly before we wrap up.
I will. Very briefly, the New Psychology of Winning book tour. So Dennis Waitley, as many of you know, is a pioneer of the self-development industry, a mentor to many people, including Les Brown, Jim Rohn. He said the eulogy for Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Robert Schuller, Wayne Dyer. He's really, but what we're talking about here is that he really lives the vibration of beingness, of kindness, of respect, of high level achievement as well. And so this is really fun because we get to create conversations between these individuals. So like Bob Proctor and Dennis Waitley talking, Les Brown and Dennis Waitley talking. And so one conversation with Les Brown and Dennis Waitley, they both shared something very authentically. It opened both of their hearts and their eyes. Their tears were flowing. The whole room got to participate. So there's something really magical when you put the legends together in conversations versus presenting their wisdom mode. It opens a different vibration and corners. This is going to be epic. It's going to be legendary. There's the New Psychology of Winning.
It will be legendary,
yes.
and it's definitely a historical. Look at that. Coach Les has the book, and it's a historical event, Adora, because
it is.
For many of these speakers that we have accumulated together, this could be one of their final public appearances. I mean, we're talking about folks that are now in their early 90s, late 80s, folks that have been for 40, 50 plus years traveling the world, making a difference. And what we're doing is we're combining the old school with the new school. We have emerging leaders of different generations coming together to truly create the preeminent event in the personal development world right here with Adora Evans and the Los Angeles Tribune. And so with that being said, wintour21.com to register and get your ticket, because this will never happen again. This level and this magnitude. It is a free event, but we do recommend folks get the VIP tickets so they can have a private one-on-one with us and Dennis Waitley after the fact, and a whole lot of other goodies, including playback. So go to Win Tour. Go ahead, Adora, please.
Oh, Mo, we have filled all of the speaker spots and have some panel spots available, right?
Absolutely.
Or do we have some speaker
contact
spots?
Adora, because she's the one handling all of that, and she's the one in charge and in control of all of that. So be very kind to her. Hopefully you get approved if you're a speaker. But with that being said, we're going to do a final round here and let everyone speak 30 seconds or less. Final thoughts of the week. Let's start with Jill Lublin. Jill Lublin, your final thoughts and final message for our audience. Jill.
Well, my big thing is to be the star that all of you deserve to be. The truth is that your message matters. Your message matters. And so for your star to rise, what you want to be doing is creating good in the world, kindness in the world, creating visibility, getting your message out, my friends, because in order to touch others, spread your light, you got to get out to the world. So you remember, your message matters.
Your message matters. Michelle McClain, floor is yours.
Yes, I would like to add to what Rex said earlier about being in gratitude, because a lot of times we're living right now something we once prayed for. So I constantly take the time every single morning to be in gratitude. And then I would also say acknowledgement. So acknowledging ourselves for what we are doing well, for what we are producing that we've intended to produce. I do that every single night. I have a journal that I do, and I acknowledge, what have I done well? And then what do I still get to work on? That way it's every single day I'm acknowledging myself, and I don't have expectation for other people to recognize or acknowledge. It's like, there's so many things to always do. If you're an entrepreneur, there's always something to get done, right? So it's that moment of acknowledgement of, okay, I'm doing these things and I still get to work on these things. So with that,
Thank you. Kim Lee, final words. Floor is yours. You're on mute, Kim. Final words, Kim Lee. Floor is yours.
My final word to you is learn to love in the right way by loving yourself first. Do not confuse worry for love, because when you truly heal your heart, in healing our heart, we heal the world. So the power of love.
Power of love. Final words, Dwayne. Floor is yours.
Stay energized. Stay energized is what I have to say. whatever you do in life, do it with purpose, do it with passion, do it with commitment, do it with other people in mind, and just stay energized.
Stay energized. Chris Hawk, final words. Floor is yours.
Final words. I don't know everybody's situation. I only know where I've been and where I'm going. And I will tell you, if there was one piece of advice, is that you're good enough. Like you see Thor always says, that you are worthy. Is something people struggle with because they maybe don't have as much money as others. They don't have as much success, a name, a reputation, as many followers, that blue check mark in their Instagram account. It doesn't matter. If you think you're good enough, you're good enough. And as Thor says, you are worthy. I would stick to that.
You are worthy. Coach Les, final words. Floor is yours. You're on mute. You're on mute, Coach Les.
There we go.
You lost 10 seconds, Coach Les. Now you only have 20 left. Go.
We all need a checkup from the neck up to avoid stinking thinking, which ultimately leads to a hardening of the attitudes. That's my
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Rex Sykes, final words. Floor is yours.
I agree with Lilly. Love yourself, love your life, love other people, and everything will be fantastic because it already is. It's just up to you to recognize it and be happy for it, be grateful for it, because you get to do this.
Celebrate everything, right, Rex?
Celebrate everything is my tagline. Celebrate it all.
Coach Lilly, final words. Floor is yours.
I would agree with Rex agreeing with me. I would say, I would end with be authentic, the way I started today. Okay, you see, the collective needs you. This world right now needs you more than ever. This society, your community needs you. And yet, ironically, the only way you can serve this world is by listening to the guiding voice within who? Within you. The collective is hurting. People are fear-based. People are stuck and they're procrastinating. So you cannot listen to them. You must listen to the voice within you. Be authentic. Stay authentic to the voice within you. From there, if more of us do that, more of us can contribute to the collective that we're all part of. Thank you.
Coach Lilly and Adora, what a powerful program. We want to hear your final words. Quick reminder, folks, go to wintour21.com, register for the upcoming event with Bob Proctor and many other living legends. Contact Adora Evans and her team and her staff for more information if you know someone that wants to apply as a speaker. But Adora, what are your final thoughts and final words that you want to share to our audience before we officially wrap up this week's program?
I'm echoing everyone here, but my final thoughts are you are enough. You are worthy. Get in your heart. Today is a gift, but then your actions are, in my opinion, your highest form of prayer. It is you taking your body and saying, I am here for what I have asked for what I have declared, and I will act in alignment with that. So take action, inspired from that congruent space.
I agree with you, Adora. Take action. Here's a secret to success. You got to do something. You got to do something. Okay, that's what I will contribute. I know that's a novel concept for a lot of people out there. I know it's crazy. Maybe Mo is insane, but you got to do something. You got to move. So that's my contribution, okay? Visualizing is beautiful. A vision board is beautiful. But those things are only a part of the equation. The law of attraction is 3 elements. And without all of these 3 elements working together, it does not work. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And if one of these 3 things is out of alignment and missing, it does not work. It only works when all 3 of these elements are congruent, in alignment, and active. So that's my contribution to this conversation. You got to do something. Get off your ass and move. With that being said, guys, this has been another episode of Leadership Live. We will see you next week right here on the Los Angeles Tribune TV network, available on Roku TV. I want to thank all of the guests and everyone here. Much love and respect to everybody out there. We'll see you next time.